I don't know a whole lot of my neighbor's business except what I see around me, but I do hear about a little bit of it, especially when something bad happens, like when there's a death in one of the families or something like that. And I know for sure, if anything happened like a murder, I would definitely know about it. There's been some shootings on this street before. It was a long time ago, but it still kind of racked my nerves. And it's one of the reasons that I've been trying to move for a long time. We don't live in the highest income of neighborhoods, but that's soon going to change. At any rate, this story is about a murder that happened to someone's neighbor, and we're going to react to it today. It's by Wansee Entertainment. Make sure to subscribe to his channel, guys, and let's get into this reaction video. True horror story of
I'm
my
30 years
neighbors.
old. My family moved to the United States when I turned 14.
Okay.
I grew up in Russia, in a town called Kirov. It was big enough to house a full spread of criminal activity, from organized crime to cannibalistic hobos.
What?
These few stories are not tied together with anything else other than a cultural connection, and hopefully will give you a small glimpse of the state of Russia during the 90s, right after the collapse of the Soviet Union.
I've never heard
When
of
I was
anything
very
like
little,
that. That's crazy.
we lived in a typical Russian 5-story apartment building in what was considered to be a middle-class neighborhood.
Okay.
It was fairly quiet, with nothing much happening, so us kids could play outside for as long as we wanted to,
Sure.
without adult supervision. I remember a man who lived on the first floor of our building. He was probably in his mid to late 30s, always wearing a dirty wife beater, never a clean shave. Every time it seemed, and I would walk or ride my bike past his window, he would jump up from his chair and begin to yell and shout as loud as he could at me, swearing, calling me all kinds of names, and threatening me. He would always do this with excessive violent movements and facial expressions.
Boy,
As a 4-year-old boy,
he needed medicine.
I would just stand there in horror, watching him do this crazy, murderous rampage.
Right.
He would fall on his elbows on the windowsill and shake his head feverishly, spitting out curses and death threats at me, with his eyes bulging. He would punch his chest with all of his strength and was almost in tears from his psychotic rage.
Jeez.
He would announce his hatred towards me and how much he wanted me dead. I just remember being shocked and would just stand there and let the horror overtake me,
Well, how can you not
leaving the
report
crazy
something
man
like
just
that
staring
with
at me out of
threats
his
like
window.
that?
One day, the man disappeared. No more insane harassment at the window. Being a kid, I just moved on with my life and didn't think about it for years.
Sounds like a relief
until
to
much
me.
later I told my parents about him and what he would do to me as a kid.
You never told him before?
The story that they told me confirmed my suspicions about him. Around one of the last times I ever saw him, a strange occurrence happened in our city.
Okay.
Body parts were found scattered throughout our city,
Oh my.
all far from each other. They all belonged to one unfortunate man, whose wife plotted to kill him for the sake of acquiring his apartment and belongings.
If he was in that much
The
rage...
woman's brother happened to be the freak living downstairs, who apparently killed the husband and dismembered his body in a tub and discarded the pieces throughout the city, including the head. Everything led to the wife, and it didn't take her long to blame the entire thing on her dear brother.
Of course.
Who, to this day, is sleeping in some dark cell, far away in the cold.
You know, domestic violence like that, hard to handle, okay? In a relationship like that, if you're being attacked or harassed or anything like that, like, that's one of the only motives for murder that I can wrap my head around. Dismembering a body is an entire different deal. Like, if there's, in the heat of the moment, if you get angry at someone, I mean, I've been rageful before at other people, and I've swung my fists. You know what I mean? You can get to the point to where you get really, really mad really fast. Have I ever killed anyone? Of course not. I have self-control. Some people, their rage knows no bounds. This guy was definitely, with that kind of behavior, if he was doing that to a 4-year-old, it was only a matter of time before he did it to someone that fought back, so to speak, you know? And honestly, if someone would be death-threatening me and making those kind of motions, I would feel like I needed to defend myself. Was this a case of defending themselves? I don't know. You never know how abused she was or anything like that. So it could have run a lot deeper than that. But I gotta say, man, This was a little bit shocking. I hope you guys enjoyed the story. Listen, make sure to check out Wansee Entertainment, as well as a couple other videos that I reacted to from him. Thanks so much for watching. As always, this is Zueljin signing off. We'll see you next time.